Good day, class. In this lesson, we will discuss applying interpersonal effectiveness at home, school, and community in the Philippine context. This topic is part of Life and Career Skills under the unit Life Skills Towards Social Competence. As young adults, you interact with many people every day: family members, classmates, teachers, neighbors, and people online. The way you communicate affects your relationships, decisions, and reputation. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to communicate with respect, empathy, kindness, and cooperation. In this lesson, you are expected to understand what interpersonal effectiveness means and why it matters in real-life situations. You will also learn how effective communication works, including the role of verbal and nonverbal messages. We will discuss empathy, other-centeredness, pakikipagkapwa, compassion, fairness, kindness, and collaboration. Most importantly, you will learn how to apply these values at home, in school, in your community, and even in online conversations. This lesson is not just about knowing definitions, it is about becoming a better communicator. Imagine this situation. You typed the word "sure" in your group chat, but your classmates thought you were annoyed or angry. You did not mean anything bad, but because the message was short and had no clear tone, it created misunderstanding. This simple example shows how communication can easily be misinterpreted. Sometimes the problem is not only what we say, but also how others receive it. Interpersonal effectiveness helps us avoid unnecessary conflict by communicating clearly, respectfully, and thoughtfully. Interpersonal effectiveness is the ability to interact with others in a respectful, clear, and responsible way. It means knowing how to express your thoughts while also considering the feelings, needs, and perspectives of other people. A person with interpersonal effectiveness does not only focus on winning an argument. Instead, they try to understand, listen, respond properly, and maintain healthy relationships. This skill is useful everywhere: during family conversations, classroom discussions, group projects, community activities, and even social media interactions. Effective communication happens when a message is clear, respectful, and understood correctly. It is not only about speaking well. It also includes listening carefully, asking questions, and responding appropriately. For example, during a group project, saying, "I need help with this part," is clearer than staying silent and becoming frustrated. Respectful communication also means using words that do not insult or embarrass others. When communication is effective, people are more likely to cooperate, solve problems, and avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Communication has two important forms: verbal and nonverbal. Verbal communication uses words, tone, language, and clear messaging. For example, explaining your idea politely during a class discussion is verbal communication. Nonverbal communication includes facial expressions, gestures, posture, eye contact, and social cues. Sometimes your body language can send a stronger message than your words. For example, looking away while someone is talking may seem disrespectful, even when you do not intend it. Good communicators pay attention to both words and actions. Empathy means trying to understand what another person feels. Other-centeredness means thinking beyond yourself and considering how your actions affect others. Pakikipagkapwa is a Filipino value that means recognizing shared identity, dignity, and respect for other people. In simple terms, it reminds us that others are not just strangers or classmates. They are people with feelings, struggles, and stories. When we practice empathy and pakikipagkapwa, We become more patient, more respectful, and more willing to help instead of judging quickly. Compassion, fairness, and kindness are important parts of interpersonal effectiveness. Compassion means responding with care when someone is struggling. Fairness means treating people justly and not taking advantage of others. Kindness means using words and actions that build trust instead of causing harm. For example, in a group activity, fairness means sharing tasks properly. Kindness means encouraging a classmate who is having difficulty. Compassion means noticing when someone needs support. These values make relationships healthier and more respectful. Collaboration means working with others toward a shared goal. It is more than simply being part of a group. True collaboration requires listening, sharing responsibilities, respecting ideas, and solving problems together. In school, collaboration often happens during group reports, performance tasks, and class projects. A good collaborator does not dominate the group, ignore others, or avoid responsibility. Instead, they contribute, communicate clearly, and help the team succeed. Collaboration teaches us that success is not always individual. Sometimes we grow better when we work together. Interpersonal effectiveness can be practiced in many everyday situations. At home, it means speaking respectfully during family conversations, even when you disagree. In school, it means listening to classmates and contributing responsibly to group work. In the community, it means being aware of other people's needs, such as giving space, showing patience, or helping when needed. Online, it means thinking before sending a message or comment. Whether face-to-face or digital, our words and actions should show respect, understanding, and responsibility. Now take a moment to reflect. How do you communicate when you disagree with someone? Do you listen first or do you react immediately? Do your words help solve problems or do they sometimes make situations worse? Interpersonal effectiveness begins with self-awareness. We cannot improve our relationships if we do not examine our own behavior. Remember, being a good communicator does not mean being perfect. It means being willing to listen, adjust, apologize when needed, and choose respect even in difficult conversations. To summarize, interpersonal effectiveness helps us build better relationships through clear communication, empathy, kindness, fairness, and collaboration. It teaches us to understand others before judging, to listen before reacting, and to speak with respect. These skills are useful not only in school but also at home, in the community, and online. As grade 11 learners, you are preparing for bigger responsibilities and wider social interactions. Always remember, the way you communicate can either create conflict or build connection. Choose communication that builds understanding,